Hello everyone, and welcome to the team guide for the 99th running of the International 6 Days of Enduro, the 2024 NOCO ISDE. I am not in my studio. As you can probably tell, there isn't a background behind me with footage, anything like that. I am on location in Spain, about a 5-minute drive to the paddock here in Saleda for the 2024 International 6 Days of Enduro. This is your team update. I'm going to be going through the teams, the World Trophy, the Junior World Trophy, and the Women's World Trophy teams. I won't be going through all of them, but I'm going to be going through the heavy hitters to give everybody an update as to who is racing and for which country. And I'll be providing updates all week long leading into the race as well as race week. You can also check out raw video highlights on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel. So let's get into this team guide for the 2024 NOCO ISDE. Also, on this list, this is the current list provided from the FIM. It is not updated. There have been rider switches. I will provide updates with the riders that I know are in for each team. But if information is not correct, I apologize, but I will give the updates for the teams that I know have switched out riders here in the last few weeks. The defending champions, the United States of America, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Dante Oliveira, Josh Toth, Cody Barnes, and Jonathan Gerard. It obviously says Craig DeLong on the sheet, but Craig got hurt at the Mountaineer GNCC and unfortunately sustained a hand injury, and he is now out for the rest of the season. Cody Barnes on the Phoenix Racing Honda replaces him. This is a good pickup for the United States and a good fill-in for this team. Cody is a former U.S. Sprint champion, a Sprint Enduro champion in the United States. He is the next best option to replace Craig DeLong for this team. So great for him to step up, great for Phoenix Honda to, allow him to do this and to provide the support at the last second, as it was just a few weeks ago, just 2-3 weeks ago that Craig DeLong got hurt. So this is a great pickup for the World Trophy team for the United States of America. Dante Oliveira, your NGPC and West Hare Scrambles points leader, soon to be champion once racing gets back after this ISDE. Dante is the one rider that's over the last few years has shown where he can run with the front runners on individual test wins, such as Josep Garcia, Andrea Verona. Oliveira has been the one to show that he can, put in those test times and possibly, all things willing this year, fight for the outright win, but it's going to be a challenge for him. Josh Toth, the newly crowned National Enduro champion. Josh has shown at ISDE that he is a threat, whether it's on the World Trophy team, on the club team. He is now going back to last year, he is a twice overall club outright winner. He did it back in 2016 in Navarre, Spain. He did it last year in 2023 in Argentina. Toth has been racking up win after win after win in the National Enduro Series. He actually did a round of the Enduro GP World Championship earlier this year in Wales. Josh knows the terrain, and he'll be up there, and he'll be a consistent runner. Johnny Gerard, the newly crowned GNCC champion. Johnny has the speed. He is also the 2024 U.S. Sprint Enduro champion. So he has the speed. He has the racecraft to mix it up, and he's got the experience now after a couple years at ISDE. He might be able to mix it up for some test wins with Verona and Garcia and possibly even Oliveira. So this is a very strong team from the USA, even with the injury to Craig DeLong. Cody Barnes filling in, like I said before. This is a very strong team from the defending champions, the United States of America. Moving on to the second place team from last year, France, 2021, 22, and 23. Julien Rousali, Theo Espinasse, Hugo Blanchou, and Leo Lecoeur, a very strong French team. I'm looking at especially the names, of Blanchou and Lecoeur. Espinasse is no slouch either, and neither is Rousali. This is a very strong team, probably the strongest French team they've had in a few years. So this is a team that can fight for the overall team, the World Trophy team win here at ISDE. This is a very strong French team, even without Loic Lerieux, who is a former winner of the ISD outright individually. This is like I keep saying, this is a strong French team, and I look for these guys to mix in with test times. And, France has been known in the past, especially with, even these four guys, they could put all 4 riders into the top 10 on test times this week. So this, I keep saying it, very strong French team. If the brakes fall right, they could very well win this World Trophy classification this year. Third place from last year's ISDE Great Britain, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Daniel Mundell, Josh Gotts, Jack Edmondson, and Steve Holcomb. Not the strongest Great Britain team that they've lined up in the last handful of years, but they have the multi-time World Enduro GP champion, Steve Holcomb. He's on his Honda. He just missed out on the World Enduro Championship this year. Jack Edmondson, if you guys know that name, he's raced over in the United States in the past. He knows ISDE. He raced a 125 back in Spain in 2016. He's raced ISDE since then. Jack Eddy is a good, strong candidate for this team. Josh Gotts, he's consistent. He's not usually known to show flashes of speed, but he is very consistent. And Mundell, same thing. Like I said, not the strongest Great Britain team as far as speed, but consistency, they're still right there, and they're going to be fighting for a top 3 position in the World Trophy classification this year. Italy, 60, 61, 62, 63, Samuele Bernardini, Morgan Lesiardo, Matteo Cavallo, and Andrea Verona. A very strong Italian team. 3 of these riders I know have speed. I don't know so much about Lesiardo. He's raced ISDE in the past. He's been a strong contender for the Italian team. Bernardini, a former MXGP racer. He's raced ISDE numerous years ever since making the switch to off-road. He was fast this year in the Enduro GP World Championship. And then you've got the 2 regulars, Matteo Cavallo and Andrea Verona. Verona is the one rider that is regularly mixing it up with Josep Garcia for special test wins. Those 2 are going to be at it again this year. They were at it again at each other's throats during the Enduro GP World Championship this year. It's going to be a 2-horse race for the most part. I have a feeling if the last few years have been indicative of how the ISDE has gone, it's going to be between Garcia and Verona once again for stage test wins and for the outright individual victory as it stands going into the racing next week. Could things change? Absolutely. Like I said, we've got Oliveira, Holcomb, Gerard, but on paper, based on the last few years, it's going to be a Garcia and Verona showdown once again for the individual outright. But Italy is Bernardini, Lesiardo, Cavallo, and Andrea Verona. Spain, 70, 71, 72, and 73. Jaume Betriu, Julio Pando, Sergio Huertas, and Josep Garcia. Like I said, Garcia has won the last 2 individual outrights, or the last 3 actually. He won the Enduro World Championship this year. It's his first ever Enduro GP World Championship. He is going to be strong. There is no question about that, and he has got a strong team to back him up, especially from Jaume Betriu, another former Enduro World Champion, a Spanish Enduro Champion, multi-time. Sergio Huertas and Julio Pando, not as strong as those 2 guys, but with the times that Garcia is going to be putting in individually, along with Betriu backing him up, those 2 can set Spain apart in the World Trophy team classification standings. Garcia has done it before. We've seen it in the past from Daniel Sanders in Australia, where individually he has carried the team to top standings, top World Trophy classification standings. It could very well be that case this year with Garcia and with the backup of Jaume Betriu. So Spain is looking good coming into this race. Not the strongest team as far as speed, but a solid team. And like I said, with the test times that Garcia puts in, that could vault them up into the team classification standings, with a lot of the backing based off of Josep Garcia. Finally, in the World Trophy classification, Australia, 100, 101, 102, and 103. Jonte Reindeers, Cooper Scheidow, Kyron Bacon, and Josh Strang. Not the strongest team that Australia has ever shown, obviously, without Chucky Sanders, without Daniel Milner. But solid lineup with a couple of these guys, Josh Strang, Kyron Bacon, 2 ISDE veterans from past years. Josh showed great speed and consistency at the GNCCs this year on 2 different brands. Kyron Bacon has been a solid lock for the junior Australian team in the past. He's stepped into the World Trophy classification team very well in the last year or 2. And then you've got Reinders and Scheidel, not really known much on those guys, but they are picked for a reason. So this Australian team can definitely be top 5 potential at the end of this week. Schrank can put in top 10 times individually. And so that's going to be Team Australia, and that is going to wrap it up for the World Trophy Team classification. The Junior World Trophy Team, I'm not going in the order of how they finished last year. I'm going off numerical order, which is based off the World Trophy Team results, but I will break down everything in the Junior Trophy Team classifications as it was from last year. The United States, 14, 15, and 16, Jason Tino, Grant Davis, Mateo Oliveira. A strong team for these guys. Oliveira has been very solid in the past. Grant Davis got his first taste of ISDE last year in Argentina. And then they've got the rookie Jason Tino, his first ever ISDE here in Spain. But Tino showed great speed in the U.S. Sprint Enduros. He showed great speed in the GNCCs earlier this year in the 250A class. Had a rough crash at the last GNCC at the John Penn, but he is all good to go. But this is a very strong team for the United States. And on paper, they're probably second or third coming into next week, and I'll explain why here in a bit, but still, nonetheless, a very strong team for the United States with Tino, Davis, and Oliveira. France, 24, 25, 26, Antoine Alice, Leo Joyon, and Thibaut Giraudon. Very strong team. This is the same French team from last year, and they put in great results. They weren't the winning team last year, but they were still a very solid team for France. Giraudon, great performances in the Enduro World Championships and the French Enduro Championships this year. Antoine Alice has been solid for 2 or 3 years now in the junior trophies. And Leo Joyon, another solid pick. This is a very consistent team for France in the Junior World Trophy classification, and I expect that to be the same case moving into next week here at ISDE. Great Britain, 34, 35, 36, Sam Davies, Harry Edmondson, Max Ingham. I expect a lot of performance out of Edmondson and Ingham. They showed great speed this year in the Enduro GP World Championship. Davies, I don't know much about him, but I know Edmondson has been in there. That great Edmondson name from Great Britain. Ingham showed a lot of speed last year as well in individual tests. Great Britain wasn't the strongest team coming out of ISDE in Argentina last year, but a good team, especially 2 of the 3 riders. I expect a lot of things out of them as far as individual standings within the Junior World Trophy classification. Italy, Manuel Vezzaroli, Manolo Moratini, and Kevin Cristino. Not the strongest Italian team, but Moratini and Cristino have been here before. Cristino showed great speed last year in Argentina. He was a very strong junior classification rider in the Enduro GP World Championships this year. So I expect Cristino to really mix it up. And Cristino could actually, he's on the Fantic, and that's actually been a solid bike in the Enduro GPs this season. And I expect Cristino to put in top times, not only in the junior trophy classification, but to mix in with the World Trophy riders this year. Moratini, same thing. Those are 2 very solid riders for Italy coming into next week. Verzaroli is the unknown for me, but in the Italian championships, very strong rider. So this is a good team for Italy. They are going to be a top 3 team contender this year in the Junior World Trophy classification. Last but not least, the defending champions in the Junior World Trophy classification, Sweden, 164, 165, and 166, Max Alin, Axel Sem, and Albin Norben. This is the same winning team from Sweden last year in Argentina. Actually, I take that back. They didn't win. I just now remember this. They didn't win. They were winning. They would have had it won. And with a couple laps to go in the final moto, day 6, I think it was Sem's bike broke, and that was the end of it. He was a couple laps down. That was the end of the run for the Swedish Junior World Trophy team, but they're going to be strong this year. They are the strongest team on paper coming into the Junior World Trophy classification in Spain this year, and they're going to be, Sem and Norben are going to be putting in top times. They put in top times, top 5 times within the World Trophy classification riders last year in special test at ISDE in Argentina. So I fully expect Sweden to be the ones to beat this year in the JWT classification. Moving on to the Women's World Trophy. Defending champs, United States, 301, 302, 303. Rachel Gudish, Ava Silvestri, Brandy Richards. It says Corey Steed. Corey was dealing with an injury. She would have been dealing with an injury heading into this event. She was dealing with an injury at the last couple of GNCCs that she competed in. The shoulder was not getting any better, and then unfortunately, an off-the-bike accident at no fault of her own gave her fits with her wrist, more shoulder troubles, as well as a concussion, and that has ruled her out for this year's ISDE, unfortunately. But a great pickup in Ava Silvestri. She has experience from last year as the only woman not on the trophy team. She qualified outright for a club team, and she is going to be a strong replacement for Corey Steed in the Women's World Trophy. Rachel Gudish, multi-time ISDE veteran, looking better than ever this year. As long as she keeps everything together, she's going to be strong. And you've got a multi-time outright winner, Brandy Richards. She's the one to beat individually. And USA on paper is the team to beat, as a team in the Women's World Trophy. This is a strong team, even without the ride of Corey Steed. Ava Silvestri is still a great pickup from the women's club team, and this is a team that can still fight for that team classification victory. And Brandy Richards, like I said, is the one to beat in the individual standings. Australia, 304, 305, 306. Danielle McDonald, Taylor Jones, Jessica Gardner. This is the strongest team Australia has had in a few years, in my opinion. And you've got two multi-time winners here with Jessica Gardner and Taylor Jones. Jones, from the GNCC days, Jones is a outright winner of the ISDE. I believe Gardner is as well, but between the two of them, they're both 5 or 6 time team Women's World Trophy champions here at ISDE. So you've got 2 very strong veterans on this team. And then you've got McDonald, the rookie phenom from last year, put in phenomenal rides. She didn't win the outright. That was Brandy Richards. But McDonald put in strong performances. She's going to come over to the United States next year, running for the Ampro Yamaha team in GNCC. She made a few appearances this year. McDonald is going to be a strong contender. This is a very strong team for Australia, and they could very well mix it up with USA for the Team Women's World Trophy classification victory. Canada, 319, 320, 321. Courtney Schmale, Shelby Turner, Emma Sharpless. Solid team for Canada. They're not the biggest on speed, but as far as experience goes, they've got a lot of experience in Shelby Turner, and especially once we get into those technical special test sections, that is where Turner is going to shine. Sharpless is a very good selection as well, very good rider for Canada for this team. She's been here before. Courtney Schmale, I don't know much about her, but she's been strong in the PDSQ Enduro Championship Series in Canada this year, and this is a good team for Canada. Is that a winning team on paper? No, but definitely a strong team for Canada, especially with Turner and Sharpless leading the charge. Turner is going to be really strong in the technical stuff. She's going to be strong in the final moto, a top 5 contender in that final moto. But 319, 320, 321 for Canada, Schmale, Turner, and Sharpless. France, 310, 311, 312, Morissette Brisbard, Elodie Chaplot, and Justine Martel. An experienced returning team for France. Martel and Chaplot have shown speed. Brisbard has been right there as well. A very consistent French team. Not the biggest on speed as far as mixing it up with France and Australia, but a strong team nonetheless. A very potential podium team for France. Great Britain, Emily Hall, Elizabeth Tett, and Nev Holmes. Nev Holmes is an outright winner at the ISDE in the Women's World Trophy, individually. Strong team for Great Britain. I expect Holmes to mix it up for the individual with Richards, with Jones, with McDonald for that individual women's victory. But backing up with Hall and Tett, great team. They've been there in the past. This is a top 3 to 5 contending team for sure. I'll probably put them spot number 3 behind USA and Australia, who will be fighting out for the win in the Women's World Trophy. Spain, Nora Esteban Anatua, Maria San Miguel Badia, and Maria Badia Comprubi. If there's 2 names that sound familiar, they're sister-in-laws. Maria Badia, number 326. She's going to be a contender with Richards, with Jones, with McDonald for the individual women's outright. She has been a contender for that win in the past if things go wrong individually. So Maria Badia is a strong rider. Not the strongest Spanish team. Esteban Anatua and San Miguel Badia. Haven't heard of them before, but you know, Maria Badia, Comprubi is going to be a contender for the individual women's outright win, or at least in the top 3 conversation, top 5 conversation for sure. Last but not least, New Zealand, 331, 332, and 333. Taylor Rampton, Rachel Archer, and Kylie Dorr. I don't know anything about Rampton or Dorr, but Archer is the 3-time reigning GNCC champion. She's also the newly crowned 2-time champ in the National Enduro Series. Archer is going to be strong in those fast sections. She's going to be strong in the final moto on day 6. I don't know where New Zealand is going to stack up as a team, but individually, Archer is one of the riders that is going to mix it up for that individual competition. So there's going to be probably 5 riders that are going to be fighting for test wins, or at least going to be consistently in that top 5, even if one rider, you know, takes a lot of the special test wins. But between Richards and Jones, McDonald, Holmes, and Archer, that's probably going to be your top 5 individual classification within the Women's World Trophy teams. LensRentals.com. If you're a photographer or videographer like me and don't know what camera, lens, or microphone to use, give it all a try. Lens Rentals has every major camera company equipment in stock, readily available to rent for a weekend, a month, or more. Head to LensRentals.com for all of your camera gear. That's going to do it, everyone, for this breakdown on the World Trophy, the Junior World Trophy, and the Women's World Trophy classification rider list. Like I said, if there's any names within those other countries that I got wrong, it's just because this is the updated list that is provided from the FIM at the time of this recording, which is on Tuesday, the week leading into the event. But thank you all for watching. If you want to watch the ISDE live, you can watch the final special test on each day. You can go to fim-moto.tv. I think it's $12 for the 6 days. That gives you the final special test on days 1 through 5, the post-race show on days 1 through 5, as well as the full day in its entirety. Day 6, the final motos, you can watch the club riders, you can watch all the World Trophy riders, but that is fim-moto.tv. Like I said, I think it's about $12 US. You can follow along. Like I said, on Dirt Bike Magazine with their YouTube channel. Follow along with me. I'll be providing updates as much as possible, like I did last year from Argentina, even though it was at my house. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you to all the sponsors that are supporting this, and I will see you guys back for another update.